No, it's going all right. Just getting
Because
over,
yeah, because
just getting over kind of getting sick. And Vail Mountain opens on Friday. So, and we have zero snow. So it's going to be very interesting. I might
yeah.
break my leg. My boss pulled me aside the other day and he's like, I want you to do me a favor. I'm like, yeah, what can I do here at the hotel? He's like, no, on Friday when the mountain opens, I want you to not send it because you're going to break something.
Oh shit!
I
That
said,
makes
no
me.
promises.
I just like watched the very last episode of The Wire for some damn reason. I
Nice.
don't know. I just picked a random episode, and it's
The last one.
yeah, it wasn't the last one because he's sitting down with some other reporter who's it's it's one of his other colleagues who, after he thinks Scott Templeton's like lying about it, and he goes, "Can you just do me a favor?" And he goes, "Dude, I don't care how far back we go. I am not going to kill your wife for you."
Damn it. Okay, well, I have a second favor to ask.
Oh crap! Well, shit, Jaron, I am recording. We are recording,
I
so
did notice that. So, I'm not going to pretend like we're not. We'll get right into this here. And welcome to the podcast. No.
yeah.
Uh,
Calm
hey,
down. Calm down on
all you
that.
hip young couples and jive turkeys, welcome to the podcast. My name is Jaron, and as always, I have my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime, the multifaceted, multi-talented
Oh, that is
Zach
sweet.
Sokol here with me. Zach,
Hi,
say
everybody.
something clever
Yeah,
into the microphone.
that was very nice of Jaron. Too much, too much.
Okay, I'll tone it down next time.
I'll have to edit that out. Sorry.
Actually, first off, I want to start by giving a shout out to all of our followers and repeat listeners. We
Yep.
have been, we have had people reaching out telling us that we're doing a good job. We're annoying, but we're doing a good job. So I want to say thank you to all of them. Keep pushing it, keep listening. Zach and I will continue to do the best we can to not only be informative but be funny. And to any new listeners out there, give us a shout out on how you found us, whether you're just strolling through Spotify or YouTube or you had a referral. For those first time listeners, this is the Average Jives, a podcast where Zach and I will spend some time debating, discussing, and ultimately ranking 10 movies out of a category that Zach and his mastermind has thought of previously.
Mm-hmm.
And just a rundown of the format, Zach and I have each picked 5 movies of a particular category. We will start by introducing them, alternating between his picks and my picks in no particular order. And then we will dive into the ranking of them, in which some hilarity and chaos will ensue.
Yes. Yes.
And as a reminder, as kind of disclaimer, Zach and I do not claim to be professional movie critics. We're probably not even professional podcasters even yet.
Not even close.
we're just two old friends that like to talk about movies, and Zach had the brainchild of this podcast, and that makes us just a couple of average jives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this week's category, we kind of mixed it up a little bit, a little different than our previous categories and formats. Kirk Douglas is one of Zach's favorite actors. Michael Douglas is one of my favorite actors, and together they are one of the most eminent father-son acting duos in Hollywood. So we've decided to each pick 5 movies. I picked 5 Michael, he picked 5 Kirk, and now we're going to rank them based upon the movie, not the
Mm-hmm.
acting.
Correct.
Important
Like you said.
to differentiate there.
Yeah, like you said, Jaron, it might be a little skewed, but I think we'll get through it. We'll be all right.
It's a little different than what we've done in the past, but I like it. We're mixing it up a little bit, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe you went last time first, so I'm going to kick us off.
Sounds good.
My first movie that my mother would be very disappointed if I didn't pick is American President, starring Michael Douglas, released in 1995, directed by the one and only Rob Reiner, who also is previously mentioned movies like Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men, A Misery, Princess Bride, a lot of others. Just a great director overall. I'm sure this won't be the last time we mention his name. And written by one of my favorite writers in Hollywood, Aaron Sorkin, who people may know by, again, A Few Good Men, West Wing, Social Network, Moneyball, one of my favorite HBO shows, The Newsroom, and semi recently Molly's Game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It is starring obviously Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, Michael J. Fox, and Richard Dreyfuss. And it is about a widowed president who falls in love with an environmental lobbyist. I kept it short and sweet this time.
Oh, that's a good one. I was expecting more, but
I
hey,
know, I know. I
it
usually
sounds
do at
good. It
least two or
sounds
three.
good. Yeah, sounds good though.
Running through their Oscars, Best Music, W for them, and then oh no, I'm sorry, it was a nomination for Best Score,
Yeah.
Best Music, just
Mm-hmm.
one. For those who have listened before, they know that I do love Roger Ebert, and he gave this movie surprisingly 4 out of 4 stars.
That is pretty surprising, but
He said, "quote It's hard to make a good love story, harder to make a good comedy, even harder still to make an intelligent film about politics. American President cheerfully does all three and is great entertainment." I
hmm.
have some thoughts that I'll share, when we start to
Yeah,
debate. But
yeah, we'll get to that. All right. I'm guessing it's my turn, Jaron, unless you had something.
no, 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 I'm going back to back.
Okay, okay.
No, 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 I'm just joking. No, it's your turn. Zach, what do you got for your first movie?
All right, I got Ace in the Hole from 1951. It was directed by Billy Wilder, who's probably one of the top three greatest writer directors ever, and it's co-starring Jan Sterling and Robert Arthur. Amazon Prime's description of the film is a frustrated former big city journalist who exploits a man trapped in a cave to revamp his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is, I mentioned to you earlier about why I enjoy doing the research and watch these movies so much, because other than Spartacus, I haven't really rewatched any of them. Maybe Paths of Glory once or twice, but yeah,
Definitely.
so it's nice to revisit these because I've seen Ace in the Hole. I saw it at the TCM Film Festival, but it was, I was 3 sheets to the wind by then, so I don't really remember too much of it. If I'm being honest, yeah,
For those who don't know, that means drunk.
yeah. Oh shit! By that time, I think the bartender actually knew my name. So, but
Like, oh, Zach, you cut off.
hey, yeah. So, but yeah, this is a review from Variety. The performances are fine. Douglas enacts the heel reporter ably, I believe that word is, giving it a color to balance its unsympathetic character. Jan Sterling is also good in a role that has no softening touches, and Benedict's victim betrayal is first rate. Billy
Huh.
Wilder's direction captures the feel of morbid expectancy that always comes out in the curious that flock to the scenes of tragedy.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that from Wikipedia, so there was no credit to it. Just said Variety. That's so I can't give credit to any critic or anything. So that's all I got for Ace in the Hole. So
It's well thought out. It's a decent movie. I enjoyed watching it. We'll talk more in the debate
mhm.
section. My next movie is going to be one of my favorites, personal favorites. Maybe not one of the best, as we've debated over and over again. What is
Mhm.
good? What is our favorite? Basic Instinct, released
Oh
in
yeah,
1992, obviously starring Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone, George DeZunza, Gene Triplehorn, and Charlie Ross. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, who did some other interesting movies such as Total Recall, Showgirls, Starship Troopers, and Hollow Man. And it was written by Joe Esterhaus, who wrote
yeah,
Jagged Edge and then joined again Paul Verhoeven in the movie Showgirls.
yeah. Not the most successful movie ever, but
Definitely not, but it was kind of a classic in the time. It was heartthrob
hmm,
by, teenagers between the ages of 14 and 16.
yeah, that's true.
This movie, Basic Instinct, is about a San Francisco detective, Nick Curran, investigating the murder of a retired rock star, ends up falling in love with the main suspect. Most famously known for a particular scene in which Sharon Stone may or may not divulge certain aspects of her body. Probably get into that a little bit more when we talk about the movies. It was kind of a thing of discussion even then, and then now Sharon Stone kind of mentions it every now and again.
Yeah,
But
she
it
did.
was nominated for 2 Oscars, which I thought was pretty surprising. nominated for film editing and original score and music, which I will agree with. The original score in this movie is one of the reasons I love it. It's a lot of suspenseful music,
Mm,
especially in a couple of particular scenes in the bedroom. You're just not quite sure what's happening, and I think the music really, I mean, as Alfred Hitchcock would attest to in his movies, the score has a lot to do with that.
it does. Correct.
Roger Ebert, I literally wrote, fuck, wow, a sad face.
Oh, it's a sad face emoji. Okay. Okay.
He gave the movie 2 out of 4 stars. I thought at least it would be a 2.5, maybe even a 3, just because
Yeah.
Roger was kind of known to be a fan of the scandalous and kind of racy films.
Characters. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he said he left the movie depressed and feeling manipulated. This film is like a crossword puzzle that keeps your attention until you solve it. Then it's just a worthless scrap of spares filled in.
Ouch, man. It's not.
Yeah, I gotta say, the
That's
last
a bitch
scene is
slap.
interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more in depth a little bit later, but yeah, that was a pretty surprising review by my man Raj. I gotta say. Moving
My
right
turn,
along,
Jaron.
Zach, second
Nice.
movie.
All right. It's The Bad and the Beautiful from 1952, directed by Vincent Minnelli. He directed Kirk later on in an Oscar nominated role where he played Vincent Van Gogh called Lust for Life.
Hmm.
I saw the first 40 minutes of it, but it expired on me on Hulu, so I didn't get to finish it, and I just never went back to it. But it wasn't, the parts I saw wasn't too bad. I just have yet to finish it. Maybe someday, you know what I mean?
Dang,
But
you're like watching it at midnight and it rolled over and said, no more.
no, I think I stopped. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, for the that's a lie. We'll keep it in the we'll keep that in the pod. Yeah. Original story by George Bradshaw, and the screenplay was written by a guy named Charlie Schnee, and Schnee won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay for this picture. So, uh, it's
Yeah, I
co-starring.
believe it was nominated for 7 and it won 5.
It did win 5. I kind of forgot how many Oscars it won. I believe it won. I don't know if I had that in my notes, but
Best supporting, best adapted screenplay, best black and white,
cinematography. Yeah, it
cinematography, and I think score.
but it had like some of the most Oscar wins, but it wasn't nominated for Best Picture or some shit like that. I'd have to look it up. I'm surprised I didn't write it down, but
Yeah, which
it's
is always interesting with the Academy. If it's best, best screenplay, best director, or best actor, and then it doesn't get a best picture nod.
right.
How can I don't know how they justify that, but again, I'm not a part of the Academy, so who knows?
But it's co-starring Lana Turner, Walter Pidgeon, Dick Powell, and another one of the film's 5 Oscars. You already mentioned the Best Supporting Actress win. That was for Gloria Graham's performance as
Mm-hmm.
Rosemary. So, and the plot is Jonathan Shields seeks to help his former companions, the same companions he double crossed and betrayed, in order to match his legendary father's Hollywood production legacy. But will they help him? After all, he kind of gave them their first shot in showbiz, but you'll have to watch the movie to find out if they'll help him or not. So it was tough to find a
Mm-hmm.
review for this, but the film did gross $500,000 profit between the U.S. and Canada. IMDb has it as a 7.7 out of 10 ratings, which is pretty good for IMDb. And dude, you're gonna hate me for writing this and putting this in the pod, but the
You gonna Rotten
consensus
Tomato me?
yeah, the consensus of Rotten Tomato is a melodrama at its most confident. The Bad and the Beautiful is an ode to movie making that offers unblinking insight into the ugly egos. I lost my screen. Okay, there it is. Egos that have shaped Hollywood history.
I'm sorry to say, nobody cares. Rotten Tomatoes is a farce.
Yeah, not great. It's not great, but that's what I got.
Yeah, and I don't think it was streaming anywhere. I think I had to rent it. So
I did
that was
too.
also yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if, 5 Oscar nom or 5 Oscar wins, 7 Oscar nom. The fact that it's not streaming anywhere, it's kind of a thumb to the nose or a thumb to the chin or however you want to say it. A big middle finger, maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember who I don't know if it was 20, because 20th Century Fox doesn't stream their movies very often. I don't know if it was 20th Century or not, but I know they don't. But like, yeah, it's still surprising with the, because I mean, obviously it was a commercial success and
Yeah, it was.
critical success, so you would think it would at least every now and then be
I mean,
streaming. But
yeah, and at the time, I think it was heralded as maybe the best melodrama of history. It would.
yeah,
We'll get into that more into the
yeah,
when we start ranking the movies. But yeah, my next movie, one of my personal favorites, one by one of my favorite directors, starring Michael Douglas, is called The Game.
hmm
Released in 1997, directed by none other than David Fincher. Gone Girl, Seven, The Game, countless others. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. David Fincher is just a master at his craft and directing. Not for some people, I will say,
hmm
but I am some of the people that enjoys him. Written by Michael Ferris, who also did Femme Fatale, The Net, which I think is a kind of a forgotten Sandra Bullock film. I remember it being kind of important, back in like the 90s. And then it was just like, yeah, that's kind of not how the internet turned out. So
yeah.
he also wrote Terminator Salvation and Terminator 3.
I have seen three. I don't think I ever saw Terminator Salvation, but
I've seen 1 and 2, and that's about it.
yeah, I
Uh,
stopped at three. So
stars, obviously, Michael Douglas, Sean Penn as his brother, Deborah Kara Unger, and James Rebhorn. It is about a wealthy businessman is thrust into a complex quote unquote game by his brother and is thrown into a dizzying labyrinth where he cannot tell what's real and what is not. And that came from my brain.
nice,
Uh,
good. Yeah,
completely shut out from the Oscars. Not kind of surprising
no, it's
after you watch the movie, and David Fincher wasn't really a big Academy guy. But Roger Ebert came through as he usually does, 3.5 stars out of 4, saying one of the most refreshing things about the film, it stays true to its paranoid vision right up until what seems to be the very end, then beyond it. So much so that by the time the real ending arrives, it's not the payoff and release as much as the final macabre twist of the knife. And I,
nice.
I think I pronounced the word macabre right.
Mc- one just
Macabre.
one big McCade. Facade.
A facade.
Yeah,
There's one big facade. Oh no, he says facade. That's right.
he does.
For those who don't know, we're referencing My Fellow Americans at the very end. It was all one big facade. A great
Oh
movie
man,
if you're into twists and if you're into not knowing kind of what you're watching and trying to put the pieces together. But again, it does have its flaws. We'll get into that during the debate section, the ranking section. But The Game, starring Michael Douglas by David Fincher, is my third movie. And Zach, what do you have?
I got Detective Story is next on my list from 1951, and it was directed by the great William Wyler. I've yet to see a bad film which he has directed. Many of them would probably be on my top 50 greatest of all time list.
Hmm.
I think we actually mentioned quite a few of them in another episode, the Hitchcock one, as it relates to the films we mentioned were Ben Hur, The Best Years of Our Lives, and The Children's Hour. Those are just a couple of many great William Wyler films.
Yeah,
It's
anybody under the age of 40, check those
yeah,
out.
yeah, totally. But it's based on Sidney Kingsley's play. One of the screenwriters was none other than Robert Wyler's younger brother. Uh, Shit, what did I just say? It's William Wyler's younger brother, and it's Robert Wyler, and also Philip Yorton helped out with the script.
Hmm.
But it's co-starring Eleanor Parker and William Benet, and the film follows the evening of a driven, borderline obsessive crime-hating detective, James McLeod. This particular evening intertwines his past and his present cases with his personal life that will ultimately unravel every relationship he has ever had or ever will. And that little bit, I took that from Unforgiven. I just sprinkled that in there. So I can't
About the
take credit for the whole
relationships that he
thing.
ever had or ever will.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
I chose Bosley Crowther's review from the New York Times. Lauded the film and the casting, writing Sidney Kingsley's play Detective Story has been made into a brisk, absorbing film by producer-director William Wyler with the help of a fine, responsive cast. Kirk Douglas is so forceful and aggressive as the detective with a kink in his brain that the sweat and conventional distractions of Miss Parker as his wife appear quite tame. In the role of the mate of such a tiger. Yeah.
Wow.
But
The way they used words back then.
I know, man. They don't. They just. And I could have fucked it up. I don't know, but
Probably.
my dyslexia,
Probably. Yeah, yeah.
my
No.
dyslexia probably fucked that up. But
Yeah, a very interesting movie. Takes place in one night. I usually genuinely enjoy those types of movies. It kind of puts you in the present state of mind of the characters and everything happening at once. You kind of had to keep track. Another one of mine, Glenn Ross. It actually happens over a span of like 36 hours. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, good movie. We'll talk about that more. I have some more insights on that.
good, good.
But moving along here, my fourth movie, maybe the number one movie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Wall
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Wall
What?
Street. Wall Street, released in 1987, directed by the great and controversial Oliver Stone, who, if people have been living under a rock for the last 45 years, also directed Fourth of July, Born on the 4th of July, JFK, Platoon, Natural Born Killers, Talk Radio. I think 7 or 8 others. W is one of my favorites. Nixon, Any Given Sunday.
Right, right. I was gonna say if
Um,
you didn't mention Platoon, fucking this shit's done. I would have
yeah,
disowned
no,
you.
exactly. Just hang up. Yeah, yeah. Pod's over, people.
Right, right.
Do not tune in next week. It was also written by Oliver Stone and a man called Stanley Weiser, who
hmm
I'd never heard of before, but he is listed on the credits as a project consultant, also on Wall Street, W, and Any Given Sunday. So I don't know
Right.
if he's just like a good friend of Oliver's or somebody that Oliver Stone kind of values his input, just kind of hanging around the set and letting him know, hey, you should add this or take out that.
A groupie of
The,
sort. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
just
exactly. The movie stars, of course, Michael Douglas, also Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, John C. McGinley, who I know we both love, Hal
yes.
Holbrook, Sean Young, and Daryl Hannah. For those who don't know, those last two names are actually females.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Sean Young and Daryl Hannah. Mention those two names to people nowadays, and I guarantee they'll think they're different people than
Dude.
who they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
It is about a young and up and coming stockbroker who makes a shady trade to get ahead and ends up biting off more than he can chew, manipulated by a greedy financial quote unquote wizard who may or may not do everything by the book. Surprisingly, one Oscar nom, one Oscar win. Michael Douglas for Best Actor took home the little golden trophy that night. And Roger Ebert gave it a 3.5 out of 4 stars, saying, the real target of the movie isn't about Wall Street. It is an attack on an atmosphere of financial competitiveness so ferocious that ethics are simply irrelevant and laws are sort of like the referee in pro wrestling, part of the show. So there's a lot to digest there. I'm sorry, my dog is hearing something outside, so I apologize. Dogs, stop. Good boy. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good review by Roger. I know he's personal friends with Oliver Stone, such as he is Martin Scorsese. So
Scorsese. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not it's not unbelievable that he gave him a 3.5, 4 stars. Although Roger Ebert never really held back. If he didn't like a movie, he was going to let even his closest friends hear about it. So 3 out of 4, I thought it was a pretty good review, and obviously we will talk more about that as we continue on.
My turn. All right. Next on my list is Paths of Glory from 1957. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick, who many consider to be the greatest director of all time. I personally don't believe that, but that's just my opinion. He
I
also,
don't think I believe that either, Zach.
yeah, but he also co-wrote the script. Other screenplay credits go to Cardell Willingham and Jim Thompson. It's based on the book by Humphrey Cobbs, who's a World War I veteran who based the book on actual events. Uh, it's co-starring Ralph McCare, George McCready, who co-starred with Kirk on the film I previously mentioned, Detective Story, and John Turkel, a future Kubrick alum that played the bartender in The Shining, but
Hmm.
he doesn't have a huge role in Paths of Glory, or in The Shining for that matter. But it's all right. It's a war picture turned courtroom drama about an ambitious general who sends his men on a suicide mission. Once the mission fails miserably, he places the blame on the unit's cowardness on three soldiers, to which Kirk Douglas's character, Colonel Dax, has been assigned to represent them in their court martial. Now, I didn't go with your boy Raj, but I went with his counterpart, Gene Siskel, who declared Paths of Glory to be a near perfect film, quote unquote.
Yeah, I gotta say, a lot to unpack about that film.
Yeah, it's one of the greats, man.
Obviously, yeah, we'll talk about it more when we get into the debating and ranking section of this podcast, but definitely not what I thought I was getting into when I started the movie. I'd never heard about it before, never read anything about it. A lot to unpack. There's a lot going on there, and at a tight, I think like an hour 47.
Yeah,
a lot happens. Yeah, and there's kind of a lot to divulge into, and I think it's going to be pretty high up on our list. Not to give any spoilers.
It's all good.
My last movie, an interesting one, titled "Falling Down." Released in 1993. For anybody who has not seen this movie, I would think a lot of middle America citizens can kind of relate to a lot of what's going on in this movie.
Yeah.
Kind of I don't want to say disturbing, but it's definitely a movie that kind of leaves you distraught at the end. Directed by Joel Schumacher, one of our boys.
Mm-hmm.
The late Joel Schumacher. I guess I wasn't aware of this. He actually died in 2020.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
He also directed St. Elmo's Fire, The Lost Boys, The Client, A Time to Kill, 8mm, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, one of our personal favorites, Tigerland.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And then ran it back with Colin Farrell with Phone Booth. It was written by someone I'd not heard of called, and I'm going to butcher the first name here, Ebby Rowe Smith, who only has 3 writing credits to his or her name, and that's called Partners, which was a TV movie, Falling Down, and Car 45, which I'm not familiar with. But was also an actor in LA Law, Hill Street Blues, TJ Hooker, Twilight Zone, The Big Easy. So it seems like, this person was semi-known within the Hollywood kind of block. So about Falling Down, it's about a 9-to-5er reaching his boiling point during traffic one day, goes on a rampage, correcting what he views as flaws in our society. Without spoiling the movie, that's the best that I could kind of come up with an about.
It's a good one. No, it's a good synopsis, man.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting movie. Stars obviously Michael Douglas, Robert Duvall, Barbara Hershey. 0 Oscars, but it did get a nomination from the. You're better at this than I am. Palme d'Or.
God, that sounds right. But
is that how you pronounce that? For Joel Schumacher for directing. Which,
really?
Huh. Yeah, which, for those who don't know, is part of the Cannes Film Festival, which is kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it is.
So the fact that he got a nomination there, but not at the Academy and the Oscars, kind of interesting. Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, saying, quote, "It does a good job of representing a real feeling in our society today," which again is in 1993. It would be a shame if it is seen only on a superficial level. The movie could be read as racist, although I prefer to see it as a reflection of real feelings. Again, I, meaning Roger Ebert, not myself, although I tend to agree with Roger a lot of time. Yeah. And I think this is one of those times. It just so happens that a lot of the characters in the movie are of different races, in which Michael Douglas kind of goes off on. So it definitely could be read as a racist movie, but I think it kind of stays true to the heart of LA. and how multicultural it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's my falling down. That is my last film. So Zach, let's hear what you have.
All right, one of my personal favorites, what I believe is one of the greatest movies of all time. Not to spoil where it is on my
Oh,
list.
Spartacus.
It is Spartacus from 1960. Another Kirk Douglas movie directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Uh, it was originally supposed to be directed by a guy by the name of Anthony Mann, and he actually started filming the picture, but it wasn't looking good, and the production was falling behind schedule. So he went with his old Paz of Glory director Kubrick,
Mm-hmm.
and actually it was written by two members of the Communist Party, Howard Shore, the novelist, and Dalton Trumbo, the screenwriter. Shore's
Wow,
version,
really?
and yeah. Shore's version and the novel are a lot different than the Spartacus we both watched. And Dalton Trumbo is one of the greatest screenwriters in Hollywood history, but was infamously
Blacklisted.
convicted, with the rest of the Hollywood 10 for contempt of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, was blacklisted by Hollywood. We could actually probably do a whole freaking episode on this subject, but
We definitely could.
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Best of the blacklist or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that actually, yeah, I like the alliteration you used there.
yeah, he was Dalton Trumbo was actually portrayed by Bryan Cranston in the 2016 film Trumbo.
Called Trumbo, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I've seen it a few times. I enjoy it.
I've not seen it. I'm aware of its existence. Obviously, I know Don Trumbo, a very
Uh,
interesting figure in the history of Hollywood and America in general. So,
yeah, not trying to get off topic, but I thought Cranston was going to win that year for Best Actor for his Betrayal, but Leo won it for The Revenant. So
mm.
fucking Leo, come on.
Well, when you climb out of a bear's carcass, Zach, that takes a lot of gumption.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we
it's
could also we could get into a whole debate about Oscar follies and
yeah,
the fact that Scorsese didn't win to '06, but
he got it. That's what's
it's
important.
true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah, it's a co-starring, in my opinion, one of the best all-star cast in cinema. Along with Kirk, you had Laurence Olivier, Gene Simmons,
Mhm.
Charles Lofton, and two-time Academy Award winner Martin Weir. I'm just kidding. It was Peter Ustinov. I was kind
Oh,
of
that's
hoping you like.
fantastic!
I was kind of hoping you like raise your eyebrow, like, wait, what?
What a
Or
great! I was like, what? Who? Like, I know that name. Like, that's not right. He always sits to the east so he can look at his billboard. Or he sits to the west, I guess.
I'm sorry. That's sorry for the listeners. That was a little get shorty inside joke.
Oh,
But
that was fantastic.
yeah. Peter Ustinov got it, and one of his Oscars was for this role, and I can't not mention Tony Curtis and John Gavin. Tony
Mm.
Curtis, the slave with the deep Brooklyn accent. You can't forget that. So he
Wasn't he a musician, a singer?
he was in
Different Tony Curtis. Different
yeah,
Tony Curtis.
you're thinking of Tony Bennett is who you're thinking
Tony
of.
Bennett. Yes.
Yeah,
Christ. Okay.
Tony Curtis was a musician in Some Like It Hot when he played the female.
Uh,
What did he? I can't remember what instrument played the saxophone. I think, but
not
anyways,
what I was thinking, but yes.
the story behind Spartacus is a former slave turned gladiator who leads a revolt against the mighty Roman Empire, and Richard L. Coe of the Washington Post wrote that the film achieves the unlikely triumph of being intimate on a big scale, a lengthy spectacle, consistently interesting for reasons that may vary from scene to scene. And
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Could easily be described as an epic.
It is an epic. What are you talking about?
That's what I just fucking said. um, and I know that you were a huge fan of this movie even back in high school.
Yeah.
For those listeners, I could hear a reference where it's like, "Oh, Spartacus."
Yeah.
That's because another mutual friend
a
of
lot.
Zach and
Yeah.
I would constantly say that to Zach, just randomly,
Yeah. Well,
because that's kind of what he was known for doing.
yeah. Well, I
But
mean, shit. I saw this movie because me and Dad saw Gladiator in theater when I was. Yeah. So I mean, I naturally, Dad was like, "Oh shit, if you like Gladiator," it was my first rated R movie I ever went to in theaters, actually. But he He's like, man, if you like Gladiator, you should watch Spartacus. And so I did, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, actually, that was the first time I'd seen it. Watching it for this pod, obviously, I knew about it because you would, like so many others, try to convince me to watch the movie as well back in the day. I never actually took the 3 hours and 17 minutes to do it,
Yeah.
which is probably part of the reason that most people haven't or won't watch this movie. Very obviously, we'll get into the, the debate section. We'll kind of dive deeper into that movie. Okay, so now we have both introduced our 5 movies. And now, for first time listeners, we're going to get into the actual rankings of the pod, in which Zach and I mutually agree, although not always happily agree, on the final rankings. Super Troopers, shout out.
What the fuck ever, dude.
Shout out Lucas Menzel there. But
Yeah.
what we normally do is one of us will give our top or the bottom of our list, either number 9 and 10, and then we'll go ahead and go from there, in which we will conclude with our final 10 that we agree upon. Zach, I think you went first last time, so I'm going to go ahead and give my number 10 at American President.
It's my number 10 too.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of argument there.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, what sucks is that Sorkin and Reiner just finished A Few Good Men, and I really enjoy that movie, and you do too. It's just,
it's one of my top 5.
Yeah, it's just the movie was just kind of cheesy, a little tacky, and I like everybody.
It's a rom-com.
Yeah, I like everybody individually in the movie, but it just didn't work as a whole. I guess that's just my take on it, though. I don't know.
I think if one of us were a female, we might have a different perspective. Again, one of my mom's favorite movies. I was telling her about, hey, we're going to do a Kirk Douglas podcast. And the first day, is American President on your list? And I say, yes, Mom. You don't need to fight me. It's fine. American President is going to be on my list.
Robin's not going to forgive me for this. Between that and eating all the bread at your guys' house, I don't think she'll forgive me for having American President.
Never forgive you. No, unforgivable.
She still brings that up to this day.
Chick-fil-A, unforgivable. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a rom-com for what it's worth. It's entertaining. I do enjoy the writing for Aaron Sorkin. For those who have listened to us, know that I'm a big fan of Aaron Sorkin. He's written some of my favorite movies. Writer of The West Wing, that was a huge hit in the 90s. And this is kind of in his wheelhouse, right? American President, West Wing. It's all about the presidency and the White House, things like that. It didn't work for me, dog.
Okay, dog. What's number 9?
American Idol, just didn't work for me, dog. My number 9, and again, this is one that I oscillated a lot. I think we're gonna disagree a lot between 9 and 4.
Okay.
I think our top 3 are going to be similar, if not the exact same. But my number 9, first I had Detective Story, and then I had Ace in the Hole, and then I had Falling Down.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went through all 3 of those. I ended on Detective Story at number 9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the movie's has a lot more, the subject matter has a lot more depth than I remember it having the first time I watched it. But again, sure. I hadn't watched it in a while. Yeah, I guess my issue with Falling Down and Basic Instinct is that, dude, the supporting cast is so fucking bad in those movies. And I think the dialogue in both are kind of little, I don't know, similar.
Okay, if you besmirch Basic Instinct anymore, this is going to turn into a dogfight.
Well, shit. I mean, I had Basic Instinct at 7, so I did.
You're a whore. No, no, I had it at 6. So I had it at 6.
Okay,
it's okay. We're not too far off on there. It is one of my favorite movies. It's entertaining as all hell. We're going to talk about Basic Instinct a little more in a second. But at 9, what did you have?
Well, I had The Bad and the Beautiful, and the only reason,
wow.
I mean, because I do like the movie, but the reason I put it at 9 is because there's so many similarities between The Bad and the Beautiful and All About Eve. From my perspective, anyways, it has this dark side of Hollywood, and it's just the main difference is Eve is kind of evil. I mean, pun, right. I guess, but. And they're trying to make
Sunrise too, right?
There's like Kirk's character, John Shields, yeah, he fucks some people over, but yeah, it's he's not a terrible guy. He just does some fucked up shit. But
You know,
yeah,
I
you're
actually
right.
I had Ben the Beautiful at 8.
Oh shit. Well, I was
After
coming up with
doing
a little proposition for you, but
well, and I thought that, I originally had it at 6 because I thought it would be high on your list.
yeah, which I mean,
Because
it
it did
would
win. It was nominated for 7 Oscars. It won 5. It was, when it came out, it was known as, the best melodrama movie of all time. And it was the
be. Hmm.
score. The score was praised, you know, across almost every critic. I couldn't find any bad thing about it. It honestly, it just didn't work for. And I just said this, jokingly about American President. It didn't work for me, dog. But I did, I didn't enjoy the voiceovers that they used for different
Hmm.
characters throughout the movie.
Yeah,
I really didn't. I wasn't involved with a lot of characters when I watched it. Honestly, I mean, I could see how in 1952 it could be considered groundbreaking, and especially because it's literally going through Hollywood, in which the film was released, and how the backdoor transactions and how you can kind of fuck other people over in Hollywood. That's show business, baby, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I had it at 6 to begin with because I thought you'd have it even higher than that, but then eventually I brought it down to 8. So I think we're kind of right there. I think Bad and the Beautiful is going to fall at 9.
Well, no, hold on, hold up.
Whoa, whoa,
Let's not get
okay,
carried away. Let's not
okay,
get. I have a proposition. You know, I do this every episode.
okay. Yeah,
Let's
we're trading.
listen to this 10 through 6 for me.
Mm,
10 is American President. That's already been established. 8, or sorry, 9, Falling Down.
okay,
Because you already had it at 9, so let's think about that. At 8, Detective Story. 7, Bad and the Beautiful. Basic Instinct at 6.
okay. Yeah, we're not far off there.
No, no.
I had American President at 10, Detective Story at 9, Bad and the Beautiful at 8, Falling Down at 7, Ace in the Hole at 6. So I mean, we're right there. I had Detective Story at 9. You had it at 8. I'm gonna give you.
No, I have Detective Story at 6.
You had Detective Story at 6. You just
Yeah.
said Basic Instinct.
Well, yeah, because I wanted, since I thought you had it at, shit, maybe I'm getting them all mixed up. Because I thought
Yeah,
you
I
had,
think you're a little confuzzled here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So American President, we're gonna agree at 10, and this is exactly kind of how I thought this pod would go. I thought
Mhm.
10 through 6 was gonna be kind of a crapshoot. I don't think any of us feel overly passionate about any of
No,
these films, so
no.
I didn't think there was gonna be a lot of debate about it. We could definitely talk more about Detective Story. I, as you know, I love a good detective story. I love a good noir. I love a good one night movie or one day movie where just kind of everything happens within the hour and a half, 2 hours. So you kind of have to keep track of who's who and what's going on. And there's not a lot of exposition in those movies, which I love. You have to kind of figure it out on your own. I just thought it was almost too much. It seemed pretty convoluted.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
You had
it's,
the two burglars, the one kid who stole from his boss, the main obviously storyline of McLeod and his wife, but then that also kind of goes into the burglars, and then
yeah, it's,
the different relationships between the detectives and the other character who I think he was a lawyer.
yeah,
It's just
one of them's an abortion doctor, an abortionist, and then the lawyer was the one that kept going after him, I guess. Like,
right. And
but
I thought it was very, especially for the time. I'm sure it was. Oh, I heard some ears flapping around right there.
that was Cheswick. Yeah, I couldn't tell how much you could hear him. I usually have him in the kennel when we record,
No,
but
it's fine.
he's been chilling in most of the day in that damn kennel. So
And I thought, I thought it was a good movie. Um, Again, everything I just described previous. It should have been higher up on my list. For some reason, I thought Michael Douglas's character, I thought he played a powerful role.
yeah,
Again, maybe kind of what you said with the supporting actors. maybe not as much. Again, with the burglars, they were kind of not cheesy, but they were delivering lines as if they were just reading it out of the script, right?
Right, they're not. They weren't freaking phenomenal actors or anything. But I mean,
Yeah. So to get through 10 through 5, let's kind of nail this out because I think 1 through 4 is going to be a good debate here.
okay.
Number 8, correct me if I'm wrong. Would you want to put Falling Down there?
I mean, yeah, that's where I had it.
Okay,
I had Falling Down at 8.
down, and then we're going to put Detective at 6. No, I'm sorry, Bad and
Uh,
Beautiful at 9.
yeah,
Falling Down at
Falling
8.
Down at 8. Detective Story at 7.
Yes,
Okay, all right,
and
that
then
works.
that leaves Basic Instinct at 6.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just a fucking banger of a movie in my opinion. I mean, from the first scene where
Yeah, it's. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, it's a murder
I
with during
enjoyed it.
sex. It's incredible, and then all the detectives come in. Yeah, he's a high quality friend of the mayor. What's that over there? Looks like high quality cocaine.
But see, that's where I think like that's like corny.
It is, but it's fun.
And it's the come on, Hoss. Like, yeah,
Oh man, George
too
Costanza plays
yeah,
that with no filter at all. He says Hoss, I think, like 13 times in the movie.
yeah, and it's fucking terrible, dude.
No,
I'm like,
it's
yeah,
great.
I'm not. See, this is the disagreement, man. You think it's great, and I think it's fucking god awful. But
I think Basic Instinct might be the epitome of a good bad movie.
you know what I put down? I think David Fincher crushes Basic Instinct, and that's why I don't think it's that good of
Ooh,
a movie. I
wow!
think if you,
Oh my god,
I think
dude.
whenever you can put a different director in there and they'll make it better, it's not that good of a movie.
David Fincher doing Basic Instinct.
Hey, dude, and Jean de Bont, or how do you pronounce that? He did,
Jan de Bont.
yeah, Jan de Bont. Yeah, he was the cinematographer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith did the music. Yeah, man. I mean, it's got a lot of ingredients to be
Ooh,
great, But
man, you saying? I know, but Paul Verhoeven, he's kind of a pervert, kind of in the same way that David Fincher is, right? Like he likes the
yeah,
sets.
yeah.
He likes to, a little Brian De Palma esque,
Oh, that would have been yeah.
right? But it is a little cheesy, and I get that, and that's part of the reason that I do love it. Again, I'm not going to put Basic Instinct in my top 50 of all time, but
Right.
if we're going to go through like my top 15 favorite, like the ones that I've rewatched the most, Basic Instinct is going to be in the top 12.
Jesus, man.
Dude, and it is ridiculous, but
You're
it's
you're
ridiculous in a fun way. I
you're gonna be
mean,
shocked. You're gonna be shocked when I tell you this. This is the first time I've ever seen it.
what the fuck?
I was kind of nervous to
I
tell
mean,
you.
Michael Douglas is one of my favorite actors, and
Yeah.
I don't think he's a top 20 actor, of all time. But I love when he plays a sleazeball, which is kind of the reason American President.
May not have worked for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I just want him to kind of be a sleazeball. Like I was waiting the whole time to be like, oh, actually, he cheated on his dead wife. But that line never
Yeah.
came up.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's just such a fun movie to me. I love it so much. The ending, kind of predictable if you watch the whole
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. I I remember thinking that too.
I thought the Jean Triplehorn character, they kind of played it off where, hey, is she possibly the killer? And then they show the driver's license where it's like,
Hmm.
oh, I dyed my hair blonde. No, you put a wig on. Like, it's the exact same picture except with different hair. Okay, now I'll get off Basic Instinct. I love that movie. I'm okay with it at 6 because it is not a great movie.
It's terrible, actually. I'm just kidding.
No, it is. I
this
mean,
this is this is fucking payback for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, man.
I honestly thought you were gonna have it at like 9 or 10. So the fact that you had it at 6 is
Well,
just
I shouldn't
music.
have been so harsh with Detective Story because I it was between that or 7 Days of May, and Detective Story was streaming. That seriously was the
Oh,
only
okay. Yeah,
reason
there
why
you
I
go.
picked it. So in the end, I shouldn't be too fucking picky about it. But
No.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
but I fucking love Basic Instinct. So I had put it at 5 and I wrote it and I'm like I literally put a smiley face next to it because I knew it was gonna be a debate, no matter where it
uh,
went at. Because it's
did
not
you
a
put
good
a
movie, but it's entertaining.
did you put a heart over the eye on Basic Instinct?
Yeah, Basic Instinct.
There was nothing basic about those instincts. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say you put The Game at 5.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
And I'm guessing you had. Oh yeah, you said you had Ace in the Hole at 6 or 5.
I had Ace in the Hole at 6.
Okay, huh.
So I kind of figured The Game, like we said, David Fincher movie, kind of a labyrinth of a movie, a little hard to follow at times. Also, a lot of holes.
Well, the way I describe, because I mean, it was streaming on Tubi, and I tried to watch it, but my computer started acting a fool, and I couldn't finish it. But I did see it earlier, like this summer, so it's not like I hadn't seen it in a long time or anything. But it, like his uh, Douglas's character is kind of like an Ebenezer Scrooge, really, like a Christmas
Also, Nick.
Carol.
Yeah, his name is
Yeah,
Nick.
but instead of the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, it's just a bunch of psychological cluster fucks, but like a little Dickensian aspect to it, which I liked a lot. And I mean, you're probably a bigger Fincher fan than
I
I am. I
am.
mean, I love a lot of his movies too, but I think he's some type of like lighting genius. And one of
Yeah,
the things I wrote down is I enjoy how every shot, how every frame looks, even the way when the clown is laying on the
mm,
driveway, how he
yes,
films the beamer just pulling up because he kind of brings the camera down to the grill of the car or the
yep.
headlight or whatever. And I was like, dude, I even like that. So I couldn't put the game too far back, obviously, because I do enjoy it, but
It's just the third act has holes.
it does, yeah.
At the, we're not one to spoil on this podcast, but if
We
you
do
haven't seen the
accidentally
game,
sometimes, but
it'll keep you guessing for the first hour, 20 minutes.
mm-hmm.
And then for that last 20 minutes, you're like, what the fuck? How in the, there's no way. In the
Yeah,
last
that's
5 minutes, if Michael Douglas takes off 5 feet left or right from exactly where he took off at,
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
My biggest gripe with that is, dude, he fucking dies. Like,
yeah,
I know the whole thing. I know everything behind the written test. The physical was also they could like
sure,
prove that his body was capable. He was mentally and physically able to do this game. But it's like you said, just a
yeah,
couple seconds in that car, and he
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
dies. Yeah, I mean
And at
that's my
the end,
biggest gripe with the movie. And I
and
again,
at the end, one of the guys like trying to explain it. Oh, it's breakaway glass. Be careful; it can still cut you. Like, okay,
yeah.
well, he also fucking just fell like 20 stories. I mean, I don't care if it's breakaway glass or not.
Well, what is it? I heard or read somewhere that if you fall from a certain height, you just like your heart basically bursts out of fear. Like you basically die midair before you even hit the damn ground. Out of adrenaline, or like you have a heart attack before you hit the ground.
Well, I mean, especially in that moment where
Or did I
that's
dream
his
that?
intention. His intention is to kill himself. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's still a good movie. Flawed. Have it at 5. I don't know. I think it should stay there. But hey, that's me. I like lollipops in my mouth. And what's the quote from Boogie Nights? I like,
oh, lollipops in my mouth. No, something in my mouth and lollipops in my ass.
yeah, that's what it is. But hey, that's just me.
But hey, that's me. This is the future of pornography. Just like some random teenagers who look like they've been through hell. God damn, I'm a rewatchables fan, and they mention that all the time. It's disappointing I don't know that line.
No,
It's like
yeah,
3 hours long. Yeah, the game definitely flawed, definitely entertaining. I'm gonna again go on a limb here and say our last four might not be much of a debate, although I think one and two might. Ace in the Hole, I'm gonna say you had a 4.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had it at 6, right?
What's that?
You had it at 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if you want to put
And
the game at 4, I'm okay with having Ace in the Hole at 5.
I'll put the game up at 4, baby. Don't tell
Don't
me
have,
twice.
yeah, I don't have to.
Um, I'd never seen Ace in the Hole. A lot like a lot of these Kirk Douglas movies,
Mhm.
who I think is a far and away better actor than Michael.
Yeah, I think so too. That's
Yeah,
kind of where
I
I
don't
wanted
think
to
we were
do
going
this.
to debate on that. I
I
don't
wanted you
think
to.
many people would debate on that, but
I wanted to prove to you that he was better. That's why I did it.
he is. I enjoy Michael more for whatever reason. Kirk does have some. He's got some range. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean he was a movie star, man. Like
for
it's
sure.
yeah, he wasn't like Brain or Olivier or some of the other characters that were in Spartacus, but he had that charisma and that masculinity.
Yeah,
Like, and
and
he
handsome.
actually has a pretty interesting life story too. Like, he didn't grow up in the best conditions and shit. And he was a fighter and stuff. So,
Well,
but yeah, he. Oh,
and
go
a
ahead,
lot of
bro.
times, I mean, their voices sound so similar. There were times I was watching a Kirk Douglas movie that was on your list, and I would look down for a second, and then he'd be on a soliloquy, and it's just like, oh my god, like, am I listening to Michael Douglas right now?
Yeah,
The similar, and then their body types, their face. I mentioned it at the beginning of the pod, like maybe the preeminent father son duo of Hollywood. Um, I'm sure you could probably list a couple more than I could, but
shit, I was actually thinking about it. So that silence was. I was like, well, shit. What are some other ones? But
I mean, obviously, another one on our list: Wall Street, Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen. I don't think anyone would go out on a limb and say that Charlie Sheen is a good actor. I think he had talent when he was younger, but obviously, we don't have to get into Charlie Sheen
no,
right now. Uh,
you saying that made me think of that scene in Hot Shots Part Two where Martin Sheen's on the boat coming one way and Charlie Sheen's quoting Platoon on the other. Martin Sheen's quoting Apocalypse Now, and then they just look up, stare at each other, get up, say, "I loved you in Wall Street."
which we will be talking about here in a little while.
Yeah, sorry to jump the gun on that because we
Yeah,
were
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
yeah.
But Ace in the Hole.
I don't remember. I don't remember
No,
if you remember talking about this during our one of our practice pods, but Ace in the Hole and All the President's Men were huge inspirations for investigative journalists. I mean,
oh, I
Ace
believe
in the
that.
Hole more so for like the corruption behind it and the flaws of humanity and shit like
Yeah,
that.
how
And
it
you
can
kind
be
of see that in every scene. And
it
plus,
can
you
be
add,
manipulated, and
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
like, oh well, we should get a crane and bring him out. Well, hey, that's going to take 3 days. We just dig him out in a day.
yeah, right, right.
And
And
Kirk is like, no, I don't think we should do that.
yeah, and it cost him. But yeah, you add situations like that along with Billy Wilder's sharp, witty, and clever dialogue, and you think it's just. I like the movie a lot. So
I did. I did too. I thought and it was interesting. Reading the synopsis of it. A newspaper man discovers a man trapped in a mine, and that doesn't really that doesn't sound very interesting, to be honest,
no,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But again, it's the dialogue and it's the performance by Kirk, and I would be okay if you wanted to switch. Just put Ace in the Hole at 4, game at 5.
Oh, you're okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I
no, 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 that's fine. We'll go
I
back
like
to
to
the
win.
original.
I like to
Yeah,
win. I'm just kidding.
yeah. It's not a competition, Zach.
It's-
It's a ranking pod where we mutually agree.
yeah, right. That is true. That is true. Even though we hold grudges if we don't get our way, but
Super Troopers. Yeah.
super true. Robin Hood. Robin Hood.
I had Paths of Glory at 3.
Oh wow! I didn't. I thought you'd actually have it at 1. To be honest, by the way you were talking about it via text, so you can't really.
How
You can
many
interpret it a
weeds have you
certain way.
smoked?
How many weeds have I smoked?
How many pots have you smoked, man?
Fuck you, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. What did you have at 3?
I had Wall Street, but I initially had Wall Street at 2. So I mean,
Okay,
I
this
wasn't
is
gonna have
where
Wall Street at one. I wasn't gonna have it at one. It's not one. It's not that good. It's good,
it
but it's
is
not
actually
that
though.
good.
It is actually because
Yeah.
I had it at one. I
Well,
think, in my opinion, it's the most complete movie of the last three
hmm.
of the 10. I mean, it has the storyline of Buddy, of Michael Douglas's character, the Buddy between his dad, and then Daryl Hannah and Buddy, and the whole aspect of Wall Street itself, and how greed is good, and directed by Oliver Stone. I thought even the montage scenes were fucking fascinating, and you can kind of see the rise and fall, and then the rise again, and Spader going in there.
I mean, it's
He
hard not to disagree with you. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
as
he
you're
brings
as you're
Spader in,
kind of listening to it, and
and Paths of Glory. We'll definitely need to talk about that. But I had Wall Street at one. You had it at three. Originally at two. I'm
yeah,
I'm going to go on a limb and say I know what you had at one, and you had Spartacus.
goddamn right I did, and it should be
I
there.
knew
It's
your entire
highest
fucking top
grossing,
10.
yeah, highest grossing movie on the list. Probably the most iconic movie. I mean, you can say Wall Street's The Greed is good, and it is a pretty well known film, but like you got the whole I am Spartacus, I am Spartacus. It even gets mentioned in The Office, and The Office rules everything. So it's the ultimate tiebreaker. So
Oh, is that right? Yeah, The Office. Yeah,
so what's oh yeah. It's like the ending of the
Michael
movie
Schur.
Spartacus.
If Michael Schur fucking mentions it,
If yeah, what does he say? I've seen that movie a dozen times and I still don't know who the real Spartacus is. And that's what makes that movie a classic whodunit. Dude, like, what the
um, I mean, like I said, it's the first time I'd seen it, and I I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's a
Mhm.
little
It
long
is,
in the
yeah.
tooth. Olivier, I'm a huge Laurence Olivier fan. I think you know that from Arabia. But
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's not just Lawrence. I mean, shit. Charles Lofton's great in it. Peter Ustinov. The scenes that they share together are awesome. They used even on people's day off, and kind of that's kind of how it was with Glenn Glenn Ross. The actors
they
used to
just come and
on their
watch.
day off, they used to just watch them act. Like that's how Charles Lofton and Peter Ustinov used to be. And yeah, I
And
mean the
you
freaking
mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier. I have it written down here in my notes. I did have literal chills with the I'm Spartacus,
yeah, and then that one
where
tear.
everybody. And I mean,
Yeah.
I knew it was coming because I knew the story of the movie and how many times it's been ripped off since then.
Hmm.
And I knew it was coming. And then he stands up and says at the exact same time as the other character, I'm Spartacus. And then I like,
Tony Curtis. Yeah, yeah,
damn, yeah, it was powerful, man. And then even the fight of who's going to be crucified,
yeah. The
and
final, the
Kirk
duel.
gets him on the
Yeah,
ground. He's like, "Do you know how long it takes for you to die on a crucifix?"
on a cross. Yeah,
On a
it's.
cross, yeah. I mean, it's tough, and the whole movie's about power struggles and struggles of
Hmm.
freedom, and in a lot of ways, it's Braveheart 40 years before Braveheart.
Yeah, I mean, this was Mel Gibson's one of Mel Gibson's inspirations for Braveheart was Spartacus. I mean, he drew off the epic, and that's
Oh, for sure.
yeah. And even I mean, I have it on mute right now watching it. It's
Okay.
it's such a fucking great movie, man. I know I
Yeah.
say that all the time, and it's just
You've been saying it for 20 years.
yeah, I've been saying it. Finally get you to watch it. Jesus, we have to do a fucking podcast to get you to watch it.
Yeah. No, it's a little disappointing. It's sad to say that I consider myself a film connoisseur, not just a movie
Yeah.
connoisseur, right? And I hadn't seen it until now.
Well,
And I mean, I will say also, 1960, Kirk Douglas, kind of in his twilight years, looking good, dude.
Twilight years.
My
Dude,
my my my,
he lived to be like 101 or something.
my boss. I told him, Johnny C. I'll reference him a lot. Who wants us to do a Bond top 10? I'm sure we will at some point. He even mentioned, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Spartacus tonight, and he's like, Kirk Douglas had a personal trainer until he was like 80.
I see. I didn't know that, but yeah,
Dude,
he's
The dude during Spartacus, he had his personal trainer there with him every day, and he was like working out, doing calisthenics and all that. During the shooting, obviously he's shirtless in half the scenes, more than half the scenes. There's just, a couple of things. Obviously, it's aged. It was released in 1960 or 61.
Yeah, and I know with like digitally remastered, but it looks fucking great still watching
It
it right
does.
now.
I mean, and you could tell when they're on the set, but you could also tell where they're sweeping vistas where, hey, they were actually somewhere shooting this at
Oh
some
yeah,
point.
yeah. And like that battle sequence, those were real fucking people. It wasn't
Yeah,
CGI.
they were actually getting stabbed. Actually, I
Yeah,
read.
they were,
Yeah.
you know how many people died during that scene?
They're in the gladiator revolt, and people are like just jumping off the fucking.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I thought one line in of the whole movie, and I would say it took me out of it or it ruined the whole movie for me. But there was one scene. It's, you're the only one of my brother's friends who hasn't given him a birthday gift, and he's like, "You're now the garrison, the
Commander,
commander of the
yeah.
garrison of Rome," and the dude looks over at him and it says, "I don't know how I will ever be able to repay you." And I'm like, what kind of
Dumb.
line reading is that, dude? That's just terrible acting right there. Like that line itself stuck out to me so much. I'm like, what the fuck,
Well,
dude?
it's dubbed too, so
Yeah,
it's
which
I
makes it
don't know
worse.
how I'm
Yeah,
ever able to repay you.
exactly. Like, how did they not
Kubrick
be
was,
like, can we just take 20 minutes to reshoot that a couple times
dude.
and maybe
No,
get the best take?
I'm sure Kubrick was like, nah, fuck it.
Whatever. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick,
Yeah,
known
fuck
for his for his laziness.
it.
Um,
Fuck it. No, that's your
fuck
answer
it,
to
man.
everything.
Fuck it, man.
That's your answer to everything.
I don't think I'm gonna win this argument, no matter how
Well,
much I.
here's it. Also won 4 Oscars. I know that's not the end all be all, but
No,
like
it's not,
we're
because then we
also
put
doing
Band the Beautiful at number one. If that were
that.
the
Yeah, yeah,
ultimate question,
of course, but that's not our thing. But we
it's not how we do it. It's our
think
pod.
about this is Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas. Not only was Kirk the lead in this film, even though he got outperformed by a number of other actors, but
Did he?
he was also the executive producer. Like this was the zenith of Kirk's career, in my opinion, and I think that should play some sort of a role in our decision. And I
That's
mean,
semantics. That's
yeah,
semantics.
well, the reason I originally actually had it at 4 because
Wow.
because he got outshined.
But
For,
we're talking about movies though.
yeah. So that's why I had it at 4, and I was like, yeah, but as a movie, I can't fucking put it at 4. The only reason I would say you could put it at 4 is because you got outperformed by other actors and
Who do you
actresses.
think
So
outperformed him in the movie Spartacus?
all Laurence Olivier,
Everyone?
Peter Ustinov, and Charles Lofton for sure. But those guys
Wow.
are theater actors. I don't
I
think
mean, I
they're necessarily
disagree,
method
but
actors, but yeah, yeah, I would rank him like 4th in the
huh.
casting. But I mean, he
Well, I
was
think that's what I think that's what Roger said too when I read his review.
yeah,
Even though kind of he was the pinnacle of the movie, he was the main backer of the movie. He's quote unquote the star.
yeah, yeah.
I think he was first in the headlines
Mm-hmm.
or the byline. But yeah, I'm very surprised that you put it at 4 originally. What did you originally have at 1?
Uh,
Pats?
Paths of Glory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I think it's time we talk about that movie.
Okay. Yeah.
And we've done this before where we've talked about a movie we had ranked lower, and then I think it was Spinal Tap actually. But we ended up ranking higher than what we originally had because we talked about it for so long, which is
Well,
a weird, which is a
no, we ranked it low, but then
yeah.
after the pod, we talked about it for a half hour. We were like crying, laughing, and talking. That was when we we're like, God damn it, we should have saved this for the fucking pod because we would have moved it higher.
2 words: shit sandwich.
The one that
Okay, let's not get on too big of a tangent. Just then we'll talk about Spinal Tap for another 20 minutes.
they actually
Which is
got
also a Rob Reiner film. So we can work that in.
How could they even write that?
and how they
Okay.
never talk
Okay.
about how the one drummer dies.
They just said it's
Okay,
best left
stop.
unsolved.
Sorry, stop. We need to stay on track here. Past the glory.
Okay. Okay. Pass the glory. Pass the glory. Um,
I out of all the movies on the list, I was most surprised by this film. I know you're a big, and obviously Zach. Yesterday, Veterans Day. Thank you so much for your service. I'm
hey,
sorry it took me this
appreciate
long to
you.
even say that. I had it
Don't
written
worry
in my
about
notes at the top. Mention Super Troopers and Veterans Day.
it. You put that at the top of every note you write. Super true.
I am actually. No, but thank you. For those who don't know, Zach is a veteran. He fought for our country. I say it for all of our friends and family. We do thank you for your service.
Appreciate it, Jaron. I'm gonna edit this out, by the way.
and, and it's a war movie, and I knew, when you put it on the list, I'm like, of course he did, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
an
and I thought,
anti-war movie. Yeah.
yeah, no, I thought it was just because it's a war movie. Uh, Zach is obviously a fan of a lot of war movies. I didn't expect watching it what I actually watched. Um, this movie is packed full of things.
Mm,
The title itself, Paths of Glory, can relate to almost every single character in this film.
yeah, it's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a
You
good
know, it
point.
starts it starts with the lieutenant or the general going to, is it the colonel or lieutenant? Like, hey, we want to take the ant hole. Not only is it going to be good for your career, but it's also going to be good for mine. And
Right.
initially he said, no, it's impossible. And then he gets kind of lulled into, well, it's going to be good for your career. I know you want to be a general too, and this is the path to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
he's pretty easily talked into it. And it was so interesting watching it and seeing the differences between the power struggle in the first scene and the second scene, where the one is, you know, not manipulated, maybe seduced into, okay, yeah, you're right, this is going to be good. And then Kirk Douglas just saying, no, it's not going to happen. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, with under threat, okay, we'll try to take it. Which kind of leads into the rest of the movie, in which, again, I
Yeah.
have them written down. I can't remember the names of the characters or the actors, but then he gets so angry that the lieutenant or the colonel is ordering, the
The guns to be
artillery.
fired. Yeah, on his own people. Yeah, it's. Yeah, God, dude, it
I
kind
mean,
of
it was
reminds
honestly
me of.
upsetting.
No, yeah, totally. It's frustrating and annoying. It's just like a complete lack of appreciation to human life. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? In Paths of Glory, they were French, not Americans, but it's the same thing. Generals, no matter what country you fight for, they're all alphas and all egotistical and freaking.
exactly. And then and the generals and the colonels aren't the ones on the front lines. And I thought it was great, in the movie with, Kirk Doug. He's going through the trenches, and the trenches are lined with bodies. And I
Yeah.
thought that was very powerful, because I'm sure that's how World War I was, right? I mean, you walk through the
Hmm.
trenches and there are going to be dead bodies just strewn about. And he said, why aren't we charging? Why aren't we up there? And he goes up, and then immediately just comes right back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, and then, a little side bit, the sound effects in this movie, pretty comical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. You know how it is.
I literally wrote gunfire sound effects. Sounds like Star Wars. But yeah, the leading general wanted to bomb his own troops because they weren't
They weren't moving. Yeah, they
weren't
weren't.
pushing forward on it. But ordered the artillery, gets pushed back on by the artillery captain. Damn, see, I should have wrote all these down. But he's like, I can't do that without written orders.
Hmm.
And then he kind of gets written up for that. And, well, you have to. Like, well, no, I can't do this unless I have written orders. And then about a quarter of the way through, not the trial scene. Yeah, about the trial scene, I wrote down, three officers on trial, but General Moreau doesn't get reprimanded or even acknowledge that he wanted to kill his own troops.
Yeah, but that comes
And
up
then
later.
about two scenes later, I wrote, Kirk finally brings it to light with an
Yeah.
exclamation point. And again, now he's kind of taking, he's kind of putting his own neck out there because you don't, you're in the military, you don't besmirch your commanding officers.
Yeah,
And
disobey. Yeah.
I just thought the whole film was just, it was so deep, and to see the different power struggles between each character and how probably accurate it was back then.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
I think you saw the beginning of Kubrick's genius too. Like he used to
sure.
the one scene that comes to mind yeah, when they try to take the anthill, and what he's doing is he's got like the dolly or whatever, and he's like
Going through the
going with
trenches.
them, and then but he's zooming in and then
Oh
zooming
man.
out. Yeah, like I mean that's just one instance, but then the trial where it's kind of like a deep focus. I think that's how Spielberg called it, where it's not you're not just seeing the defendant's reaction or the soldiers, but you're seeing everybody in the background as well. Like it's not
Mhm.
just focused on one. And you in the yeah, I maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but anyway, you could see that Kubrick had something special going on. Like he
Yeah.
had some talent, but
Yeah, that's, I mean, early on, and I mean, I was really surprised after doing all the research for these movies how often Kirk and Stanley collaborated.
yeah, I think it was shit. I think it was just those two, Spartacus and Paths. But that's still. I know Kubrick refused to work with Douglas and vice versa after Spartacus, and I think
Really,
Kubrick. Yeah, that was Kubrick refused to not have Final Cut anymore after Spartacus because of how much
Kirk
Douglas.
had influence on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how much influence. So, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, shit,
No,
Jaron.
I
I
mean,
mean,
well, I mean, and just two other quick tidnotes about Paths of Glory. There was one line that I wrote, uh, and I can't even really remember the specific scene where they're asking, what do you know about this? What do you know about this? And I think it was Kirk that says, "All I know is nobody wants to die."
yeah, yeah,
I mean, valor and ego and whatever adjectives you want to use, whether you're on the front lines or not. I don't think anybody wants to die, right?
right. Even though it's
So,
inevitable. Yeah,
right, and I thought that was a pretty powerful quote. And then I wrote one more to kind of lighten things up here. There's there's one part where one of the three soldiers on trial is starting to cry, and one of the commanding officers literally slaps him and says, "Pull yourself together, act like a man." And the Godfather had to have ripped that off.
maybe, yeah,
That's exactly what Vito Corleone says to the Undertaker in the first, or the Frank Sinatra character who's not named Frank Sinatra,
oh
when he
yeah,
starts
Johnny.
crying and he ad libbed, he slapped it. Pull yourself together, act like a man. And yeah, exactly. And when I was watching Paths of Glory, that line came out twice, and I'm like, oh, I mean, Brando had to have. I mean, I'm sure Brando saw Paths of Glory and just idolized that movie.
Yeah,
So
probably. I know that he wanted. I think I don't know if it was him or the studio that wanted Kubrick to direct one of his movies, but I think it was One Eye Jack, and I think Brando ended up directing it. But I think Kubrick was up for the job, but I don't. Who the fuck knows? Just a little
yeah,
random
no,
tidbit for
yeah, it's all
you.
revisionist
Little
history at
random
this point.
Marlon
Yeah.
Brando tidbit for you. But
So anyway, okay. Sorry to the listeners. We usually do this on at least one film of the 10 where we want to talk about it more than every other. And
yeah,
again, this is kind of what I alluded to earlier. We just spent more time on Paths of Glory than we did Wall Street and Spartacus, kind of put together.
yeah,
And watching the 10, I put Wall Street at 1. I thought it was the most complete movie. It's a little newer, which might have factored into the fact that I put it at 1 over Paths of Glory and Spartacus. But it was definitely the movie. Paths of Glory was definitely the movie that I took the most from, and that I probably enjoyed watching Wall Street more just because I know that movie, and I know some of the lines, and it's entertaining. And but I think Paths of Glory was maybe, I I'm rethinking it now. I might put Paths of Glory at 1. Like,
what
I think it
shit?
might be the better movie. But I'm
Well,
open to it. I had it at 3. I had Spartacus at 2, Wall Street at 1. I think you had Spartacus 1, Wall Street 2, Paz at 3. So if we're going to go strictly by what our last ranking was, Paz is 3, Wall Street's 2, Spartacus 1.
yeah, and I'm okay with that. I mean, granted,
Okay,
even in this section I did right, I could see Paths of Glory being number one, but
totally.
it's I get what you were saying because as you were describing Wall Street, I was like, well, shit, like he's right. Like, I mean, it's I can't think of anything, or I didn't write anything down that said, "Hey, I really don't like this about Wall Street." Like,
No.
you could see because Stone, similar to Spike Lee, Stone was like a pupil to Scorsese when he was teaching at NYU, so you can see the
Oh,
Scorsese
definitely.
influence. But he adds Stone adds his own touch to it, and I think it makes it better. So I just yeah, I'm good with Wall Street at 2, Paz at
Okay.
3.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I took the most notes for Wall Street. There's a couple of scenes where it just draws you in, and it's a different time. We're debating movies released in the 50s and 60s against the 80s and 90s. So,
Mm-hmm. Right.
obviously, technology's gotten better. Screenplays have, I want to say better, but they progressed over time. I think we have a decent list. I'm okay. I think
Yeah.
Spartacus 2, Wall Street 3, or Wall Street 2. I'm sorry, Spartacus 1, Wall Street 2, Paz at 3. That's where I had it, and I'll agree with it.
I hear that
Again,
pinprick.
the listeners would probably think, "Wow, they probably should just put Paz of Glory at 1." But
I might have to cut a little bit from it, but we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see.
thank you. Yeah,
I
let's
think
cut some of this out.
cut all your good shit out, leave my good stuff in. Cut all,
Yeah, Jaron didn't really talk much in the last 20 minutes. I don't know what happened.
yeah.
I think he got too
Must,
drunk or something.
must have been like a glitch of the system or something.
Yeah, his phone cut out. Dog took a shit in the living room or something. Okay, so again, for new listeners, we apologize bearing with us for these last 20 minutes. This is kind of what we do on each pod, where we will have 1, 2, 3 movies that we actually have to debate and we have to talk about. That's
Right.
kind of the essence of the pod. So at the end of every one, I will give the final conclusion of our top 10. So what Zach and I have mutually agreed upon: at number 10, American President; number 9, The Bad and the Beautiful; number 8, Falling Down; number 7, Detective Story; Basic Instinct at 6; The Game at 5; Ace in the Hole at 4; Paths of Glory 3; Wall Street 2; Spartacus number 1.
Hell yeah.
That is the recap of, again, what was a different kind of category theme that Zach and I have done in the past, where we actually took 2 different actors. I picked 5 movies from each of them instead of a different category. I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, get like I told you on the text, like this was the most fun I've had researching.
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
by research we mean watch movies and take notes, but still, it was
Which
my
is what
it
we
was
do anyway.
yeah.
But
Which yes, this is so far this has been my favorite my one of my favorite episodes to cover. So
and again, shout out to all our followers and listeners. Whether this was your first pod or you're re-listening to one of our other pods, we do thank you for your contributions, your follows. Please share us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Zach and I are going to keep cranking these out. We have some
yep, yep,
followers that have given us some positive notes and negative notes. Average Jives.
that's it. That's what
That's
we
it.
are. That's who we are.
All right.
All
We'll see
right,
you tomorrow.
everybody. Yeah.
Fuck.
Take care.
Wrap. It's a wrap. Come back tomorrow.
Harry,
Fuck.